Good morning and welcome to all of our attendees, to Council General Petrosky, to our distinguished panelists, and my fellow board members of the Swedish-American Chamber of Commerce. I'm Michael Roberts. I'm from Citi, and we're your host today, and we're exceedingly pleased to open what is the 8th annual Swedish-American Chamber of Commerce Green Summit, which I think this year has one of the most intriguing titles of the summit's recent history: The Future of Food, Exploring the Secret of the Three-Course Pill. So we're extremely pleased to be able to host the Green Summit for the 9th time, I believe it is. I hope I got my numbers right. Renee says I did, which reflects the importance that we ascribe to our continued partnership with the Swedish-American Chamber of Commerce, which is a partnership that goes back to the founding of the Chamber and reflects our 72-year presence in Sweden. We also share the Chamber's commitment of fostering strong Swedish-American relations, promoting free trade, and practicing responsible and sustainable business. We're also very pleased to host you in our headquarters building. You probably noticed we're undergoing a little bit of renovation out there. In fact, this is the largest renovation of a tenant-occupied building in New York City history, which means we're in the building during a 5-year renovation. It's also one of the largest renovations in New York City, period. And when we're finished in 2020, this site will be one of the most environmentally advanced buildings in New York. It will have LEED certification, which is quite a feat given the fact this building was built in the 80s. So we're very, very proud of it. So please come back in 5 years. This room, everything will be completely changed. And I'm sure, in fact, we will be here and hopefully in 5 years. At same vein, Citi is also a keen supporter of the Green Summit. And as I said, we sponsored the first Green Summit in 2008. We feel that the summit serves the critical function of bringing together key stakeholders and thinkers on the vitally important topics of making the world a much more sustainable place, both for today and for our future generations. This year's topic has great relevance to us all, given the world's ever-growing populations, the pressure to our ecosystems, the increasing urbanization, the inexorable shift in our climate, and the need to feed the less fortunate with nutritious and affordable food, as well as a very uncertain political environment where important issues like sustainable food production may simply get lost in the current political dialogue. For me, growing up in Texas, eating was based on a typical meat-based dinner. You can say I'm sort of a meat and potatoes guy. That's what we served, that's what we thought about, and that's what we're very comfortable with. But I realized that certainly I and my children, and frankly all of us, will need to find new ways of eating. And that in the not too distant future, our agriculture and our food industries will need to go through a fundamental change. And we're going to have to figure out how we produce food much more efficiently, with much better yields, how we're going to do so with much higher nutritional value, how we're going to achieve better distribution in the food industry around the world, how we're going to do so with less pollution, less wastes, and how we're going to have to find new sources of protein which are much more sustainable so that we can feed a lot more people. So those are quite a lot of tasks and quite a lot of very important issues for us all to consider today. And so we're very lucky to have such distinguished panelists to delve into these issues. We're looking forward today to have a very vigorous and thought-provoking debate. And we hope to begin to stretch the imagination, to really stretch the imagination of what we will all be thinking about eating in the future, in the next 20, perhaps 30 years. And it may be indeed the three-course pill meal, or it may be 3D printed hamburgers. It may be space-age food concentrates. It may be highly nutritious, if not too tasty, Soylent Green. It may be even some of the great delicacies that we do find in the insect world, which we are going to have a panel discussion on that. So I do think that it will be a very, very interesting day, very, very productive, and again, we're extremely pleased that you're all here. And so I'm very fortunate to be able to turn over the proceedings to our chairman, Steve Trigg, who is the chairman of the Swedish-American Chamber of Commerce. Steve?